I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to Smack It Raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NXXXT, a Smackin It Raw podcast. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and I am here with my co-hosts this evening. She is host of the She Leads Showcase, Inside the Mind of, In the Crowd, Story Time with Miss Katie Kinsey Bebe, and a little show called Getting Off. She is Miss Katie Kinsey Bebe.
Hey.
And he is one half or fourth, or I don't really like. I know him and Kyle, and then like there's this World's Funniest podcast, and then there's another co-host, and there's like 3 or 4 other people that kind of hop around. So I don't really. So we're just gonna go with half for now because.
I mean, I'm one half of the founders of Walt Media. Me and Walt Media, which was originally.
You know what? That's exactly what it is. He is one half of the founders of Wallop Media, not Wednesday Night Wallop. He is Riley Turner.
Good evening.
Allison, you did make it on time. Thank you for joining us. You know we love you. And we're here to talk NXT. Obviously, before we do that, I have to say the things that I always have to say. First and foremost, twitch.tv/Creation World. Oh, there's an echo.
It's not me.
I heard it for a second. Twitch.tv/Creation World, where if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you have Prime Gaming, and if you link those two together, you get a free sub that you can give to your favorite Twitch streamer every month, and that should be Katie. And if it's not Katie, it maybe should be me. And if it's not me, you know, there's Rivet City Radio, who only does things on Twitch now. Like, that is the only place you can find them. So go there and support them over on the one platform that you can support them on, because that's very important, because we love them over there. So go do that thing. Or your favorite Twitch streamer, just give them the sub so that they can continue to make content that you enjoy. That's the whole point of this thing. You guys can also find us youtube.com/Creation World, where it is free to like, to subscribe, to comment. Kitty, what does that do?
Boosts the algorithm and helps find new listeners.
And why is that important?
Because you're a whore.
That is correct. I am a whore, ladies and gentlemen, for your likes, for your attention, for your comments, views, subscriptions, all of the things that we mentioned.
He even likes the bad ones. He likes the bad ones.
I prefer the bad ones, actually. I like to read the bad ones and then laugh at you from the comfort of my own home. So please, say all the bad things. But I do this because I want to entertain you, because I want to, what was there was a saying that Vince used to say that he used to love that. Fuck. I can't remember, but
give some context. Maybe we can help you
dude, if I could remember, I would. I was thinking tantalize, but it's not tantalize. I can't fucking remember, but it's something that sounds really dirty. Let me tickle the cockles of your heart.
Excuse you.
That's what I said.
I don't like that.
And while I do that, flick that bean, hit that notification bell, get notified every time we go live every Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 Eastern for the Creation Conversation. Every Monday night, 15 minutes after Raw goes off air, in whatever time zone you are in, whenever Raw decides to go off air, because we are never going to know. Or after NXT, 9:15 p.m. Central Time on Tuesdays. And while we are 3 hours every Friday, 10:15 p.m. Central Time, 11 p.m. or 11:15 p.m. EST for all you Easterners. And then when we go back to 2 hours, it'll be 9. It's the thing. Just like 15 minutes after the fucking shows. Like, look for us 15 minutes after the show goes
time
off
zones.
air.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
No, I'm not. I'm really not.
You're doing amazing,
I'm going to shut the
sweetie.
fuck up now. Katie, you got any news and rumors?
No, I don't care. I wasn't really paying attention today. It's been
Well, I
snowing.
got something.
I was busy. What?
So, we talked in our group chat a little bit about Corey Graves.
Oh, yeah. You guys talked about it. I was busy.
You were there. You existed. You're a part of this.
Is it this?
Tantalating the juices of yes. That was the one I was looking for.
Not tantalating.
Tantalizing. And it was titillating, yes. That was what I was looking for. Also, Vince looks very different tonight. Vince looks super Canadian tonight.
Super Canadian.
Hi, Vince. Anyway, Corey Graves was supposed... So, my understanding is Corey Graves got taken off of Raw and Smackdown, sent down to NXT, did NXT last week, was not happy with that decision. After Raw last night, came out and made some comments about it, said he'd have more to say on NXT, and everyone's like, oh, this is a work. We were all like, oh, this is a work. Like, what's going on? Because if he's going to do it on NXT, if he's doing it on TV, then it's got to be a thing. So apparently it wasn't a work. Or maybe it was a work and we're just being worked really hard. But from what I heard, him being on NXT tonight, he was not on NXT. He was seen at the Orlando airport leaving Orlando, gone. His brother is saying, Sam Adonis is saying that it is not a work. He was not at any of the recordings, or not recordings, but
tapings.
Like, well, it's not tapings. It's rehearsal, like the early rehearsals around like 3:45.
That's what you mean. Okay.
For NXT, he did not show up on the show at all tonight, and apparently, from what I'm hearing, WWE is not happy with the things that he had to say, and he is not happy with WWE. So we'll see where this goes. It could still all be a big story, and this could all just be like, oh, he's not here. I am really struggling with words tonight. I wish you were here to help me, Vince, but you decided not to be, yet you're still watching. So
he said he was going to watch. He likes to watch.
Yeah. He loves to. Especially guys that look like me.
It's true.
Anyway, Corey may or may not still be working us. May actually just be like, fuck WWE. I can't believe that they said I'm not famous enough to be on Raw or SmackDown, which you're not as famous as anyone else on Raw or SmackDown, or actually even Booker T, who's on NXT with you. So he's also more famous than you.
So it's a lot of commentator drama over the last couple weeks in pro wrestling. That's commanding the news. Between this and Chris Charlton going after Tony Khan for not being as good at booking New Japan guys as New Japan was. Like, that's wrestling news the last 2 weeks.
To be fair, Tony Khan's not. I listened to fellow Canadian of yours, Warren Hayes, because he runs down NXT, or not NXT, AW, but I watch AW, but there's not enough like to really keep me entertained. And honestly, he talks about shit. I'm like, when the fuck did that happen? Because like it's on, but it's not on unless I see someone. I'm like, oh, I want to see what you're doing. It's just like playing in the background. I'm not paying attention. So I'm like, oh, I didn't even see that, or oh, when did that happen? But he talks about it, and even he's like, I have no faith in Tony booking Powerhouse Hobbs because Tony doesn't know how to book big men like Powerhouse Hobbs. And he's like, listen, the way that he's booking the show right now is not doing anything good, is not doing anything special, is not driving people to want to watch the product or pay for tickets. Like, he's very critical of the product, and he still prefers it to WWE, which kind of hurts me a little bit. But yeah, no, he is very critical of the product right now and Tony's booking. So
That is Kyle's stance too. He said watching that Raw last week, the debut one on Netflix, that he forgot how much he thinks WWE style is boring now in comparison, and it is completely different. When you watch, I watched AEW last week, and I'm like, he's right. Like the style is different. It's a lot more spot heavy and whatever else. And if that's your yum, then yum it. Like I don't care. Like I've always been a more traditional pro wrestling American style fan overall. So like I love AEW for what it is, but like Raw was great last night, and NXT had some great stuff tonight too. So
I wholeheartedly agree. And we talked a lot about that last night, even though we're not going to get into it. That was last night. If you want to know what happened between me and Vince last night and hear me yell at Vince, go watch last night's stream. Let's get into.
Is that why
NXT.
he's not here tonight? Like,
No. He let me.
They're on a
let me
break
know.
right now.
Well, I mean, I told you I was going to give you shit. I'm not giving you shit, but we do know that Vince is a little bit of a whore, and he has now spread his legs for Wallop Media, just like he has Smackin It Raw and the Get Yo podcast, because apparently me and just weren't giving him enough podcasting dick, so he had to go find some more of the Canadian persuasion. And, you know, hey, I'm not knocking him. If you want to put him in a sharpshooter and make him tap out or scream your name or whatever it is, like, you do what you got to do with him over there.
In defense of that show, that one is one we can record 3 episodes in 2 days and then not talk to each other for 3 months. So
that's fair.
He said nothing.
But that's not what we do here. What we do here is we talk about today in wrestling. And today in wrestling, we kicked off NXT with the Oba feminist era. And it kicked off with what I thought was the biggest dick energy possible. So I was wrong, by the way. We'll get to it here in a second. And I know Rylan's not going to agree, but he claims ownership of all NXT. He will rule you, NXT, and he's going to rule you however he sees fit. Like this, all the confidence, dick swinging. I'm here. I'm in charge. You're all my bitches, and you're going to do what I say. And then a song plays, and there's red, and there's white, and there's green, and this gorgeous Italian man from Chicago walks out to remind Oba Femi that all of that stuff that he said is great, but he's still the only person to beat him one-on-one. And when he's ready, he'll come for the NXT title just like he did the North American title. And then Oba's like, yeah, well, Santa kicked your ass last week, and maybe you should worry about, getting your stocking stuffed and blah, blah, blah. And then Ridge Holland came out, and then Tony stuffed Ridge's stocking, and that went on for, like, the majority of the night. At one point, there was a backstage incident where Lexis King and Charlie Dempsey were about to get a rematch because Ren was faking a cheer harder than women fake orgasms for Lexis King. But then the garage door got slammed, and we go out there, and the security's still trying to make, room for the Holy Ghost between Ridge and Tony, and they're yelling at each other. And we got Ridge versus Tony next week for the North American title. So, all of this is going on. Eddie Thorpe also shows up because Oba said that Eddie Thorpe is the cum that he cannot scrape off the bottom of his shoe.
Ew.
That was
I said the same thing when he said that. I was like, that's a little gross. I can't believe you got away with that on the CW. But
you didn't say that, you fucking liar.
That's
I watched
exactly
the
what
same
he
show
said.
as you.
I heard cum. I don't know what you heard, but I heard cum.
Not that.
Also, have you...
Sick.
Anyone ever tried to scrape cum off the bottom of your shoe? Sometimes it's not that easy. Just saying.
I'll get back to you.
Step in the wrong spot. That Eddie Thorpe attacks Oba Femi. Oba Femi goes into the office and he's like, if Eddie Thorpe wants a match, then you give him a match. And he was like, I'm not going to reward him for bad behavior. And then Robert Stone, for whatever reason, he's thought he was going to interject himself here, and he's like, you're getting played, you look stupid. And that's not what you say to Oba Femi. That was dumb. So Oba grabbed him and pressed him up against the wall in a way that I bet Katie wished she was getting pressed up against the wall by Oba Femi, and Ryland, and maybe me a little bit too. So the three of us.
I knew I shouldn't have wore this robe.
You're vulnerable.
long story short, Eddie Thorpe's getting his title match as well because Ava caved. So Oba Femi, Tony with the bigger dick energy, Ridge Holland brawl throughout the night, and Eddie Thorpe getting his title match. Spit or swallow?
I want to gargle all of it because, like, Oba's great. I love Oba. Tony's great. You know, he came in, he said his stuff. Next week, I think he's going to lose the title. Personally, that's that. Well, fuck, he's even here. Look at that.
Yeah, you guys see
forget
this
about
Dawn's face.
Popped right in.
Get him away from the camera.
It looks like he just like repurposed Johnny Stamboli's action figure from 2002. Anyway, I can't look at it.
Matthew, we're trying to do a show.
If he's gonna talk shit, he's gonna talk shit to the Don's face. That's all I'm saying.
That's I wasn't gonna talk shit. No, I think he's gonna lose next week because honestly, my theory is like my Austin theory. I don't know. Is that something you guys do here too?
Yeah.
Is if you're gonna do this thing with Ridge, you got to get this title on him now, because otherwise it's over. Like, you've repurposed, repackaged, sent him to NXT, basically turned him into the character that the internet, thinks of him. And like, I don't know, like he needs something to kind of keep going. And that's the title to keep going. Like Tony doesn't need it. He's over. He can go for the world title or he can go to the main roster. Like he doesn't need that title anymore. It was a good moment.
I need Tony to win the NXT title before he moves up, just because I don't have as much as I would love to book him that way. I don't know that I have a whole lot of faith that the Italian Kingpin gimmick is going to warrant world titles in WWE. And I would like to say that I saw the Don as a world champion or a heavyweight champion at least one point in his career. So I'm going to need him to win that NXT title just so like we have that one. If I may never get the other ones.
It's fair. That's fair. Like, look, again, I don't have anything super personal with Tony D. I don't understand how you like him, but you don't like Fraxiom. And we'll get into that.
Oh, we're going to talk about that. Trust me. We're going to get to the main event.
Okay.
All right. Katie, did you spit swallow?
I really thought you were about to fucking not say anything about me. We were about to fist fight. You would never bullshit. No, I agree with Ryland. It is a gargle. There are some things I like about this, specifically Oba Femi and Tony D'Angelo. Things I do not like about this, Ridge Holland and his weird neck, and Eddie Thorpe and him being with the moon, and it's a thing and is weird. Why are we... Eddie Thorpe does not do it for me. Why are we trying to make this man in the main title picture? For who? For what? Who is asking for this? I have never seen a single good thing about this man on social media.
Nobody is. And honestly, Heritage Cup, I mean, he's a Native American. Heritage Cup, sure, why not? Even North American title. Again, Native, like North American title.
Native.
Makes sense. You can do that. This is not the spot for you. And there aren't a lot of dudes in NXT ready for that spot, which we've talked about. But, like, Eddie is definitely not one of them. Honestly, I'd rather see Ridge in that spot than I would Eddie Thorpe.
No. Hear me out. How about neither?
You know who else I don't want to see in that spot? Dante Chen, who decided that he was going to be the one to handle Ethan Page. And Booker T specifically said, this ain't level up, dog. And he was right. Because Dante Chen had not leveled up enough to step in the ring with Ethan Page. And he got worked. Then, afterwards, Ethan gives him a foot job. He's hurt. He's down. He's in pain. Out comes Javon Evans. And listen, I love Javon Evans. He's bouncy. He's all these things, right? Motherfucker's got a glass jaw, bro. Like, why is it every time someone touches your jaw, you're leaking blood from the mouth?
Well, it's currently wired.
I was going to say it's currently wired shut. That was the whole gimmick last week, right? Yeah. I still think he needs to come out to that Kanye song. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a thing with him.
He needs to be NXT Evolved now, yeah.
Yeah, this didn't really do it for me. I don't know.
Well, let's see. He's broken a jaw. He's broken a hand and a foot. So all the sexual organs, except for the actual sexual organs.
Was it Ced's whole hand or was it just fingers?
I don't know. I think they said
all
hand
the things
show tonight.
Ethan Page is breaking all the jobs: the hand jobs, the foot jobs, and the blow jobs. Anything associated with the job, Ethan's breaking it.
I love Ethan Page, man. Swallow the shit out of this. Ethan Page slaps. Dante Chen, though, I mean, hey, he came out rocking his best Sub-Zero look, and was quickly handled. On the stage, I thought he actually kind of showed something. Like, I didn't feel like it wasn't, a bad promo. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing more of him, but like, if he's on the chopping block, then I could see this guy not making it. Sure, but it wasn't all bad, I guess.
It was all ego.
It was all ego. So then, we got Stephanie versus Shotzi, right? Mm-hmm. And I loved Shotzi won, yes. I love the character of Shotzi. I even said last night that out of spite, I wanted Shotzi to win just to piss off Vince. So Vince, I apologize because I love Shotzi. Shotzi is not the greatest in-ring performer. I've said it before. She is the female Jeff Hardy, and she is great for high spots and dives and things like that. But the chain wrestling with Stephanie wasn't quite there. It was a little bit off, especially early on in the match. Then we got the interference from Fatal Attraction. You're not gonna say it. You're not gonna. You're not gonna.
Oh, you mean JC Jane?
Well, I say Fatal Attraction, then you say Fatal Influence.
I can't anymore. It's exhausting.
Okay. Well, yes, JC Jane was out there, and she got head from both Shotzi and Stephanie. You know why?
Because JC Jane is a fake ass bitch.
I love it. Also, Fallon with the belt to the back of Stephanie, allowing Shotzi to get the win. Stephanie was pissed. Shotzi was pissed. No one's happy about it, especially not Vince.
Who he blames you exclusively.
Which is fair, because I listen, I spoke it into existence and it happened, and that's on me.
This was last night. This is true.
I take all spit swallows.
I mean, I still liked it. It was fine. I like that we're not doing Stephanie yet. Give her time. Mm-hmm. Vengeance Day, about a month, literally a month away. So,
I love Stephanie. I was thinking of you, Matt, during this match because Booker T on commentary sounded like he was gonna bust a nut numerous times.
Numerous times. Then I had to re-up later in the night for the tag team match. So
no, it was something. No, whatever. I'll swallow it. Anytime.
It wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't a good match.
No.
And I never expect, like I said, she has a style, she has a role, and it did not work well here. But I never expect a good technical bout from Shotzi. And we were doing a lot of chain wrestling and shit, and it just wasn't working for me. Speaking of the women, Kalani apparently is not the same little girl she was before, and she wants to make that known. And tonight was not the night to prove it because she got raked in the eyes and pinned by Cora Jade. But she tried. She really did.
Just don't ever want to never Contendership or match. All types of mad. He's furious. Yeah, Kalani got her ass cooked. She slapped the shit out of Cora Jade, though.
She did. And she deserved it.
Cora Jade should have been talking shit, but she backed it up. So, I don't know.
I'll just gargle this one because I don't know. It wasn't. It was another one where I'm just like, I felt like there could have been some more there. Like last week on NXT, they featured the women so perfectly, and this week it was just kind of like, eh.
But we got an important person in the crowd.
We did.
Knockouts Women's Champion Masha Slamovich was in the crowd during this match. Were you unawares?
Yeah, they also did plug the TNA pay-per-view on Sunday, which is weird for WWE. But I'm surprised. I'm surprised that they're not, worried about the Tessa heat with TNA.
That's why I was also like, really?
No, it's okay, because the Crimson Chin's not coming over, and if she does, they're gonna ruin this beautiful product that they have with NXT. If I see that stupid chin on my screen, we're gonna have a problem.
That jawline.
Speaking of ruining perfect things, your boy Sean Spears needs to just stay the fuck away from the women, from Rizzo, from Izzy, from everybody. Honestly, just like be your own person. Stop trying to break up happy homes, Sean.
Sean's just mad that he's never been more famous than when he was Stan.
I would argue
Ty Dillinger
that he's never been more famous than when he was a perfect 10.
Oh, all right.
Come on. Poppy got at the Rumble when he was number 10. Come on. Iconic.
Also, along with this, we need a restraining order against him and the women of NXT. I agree, Vince. Carmen and Ashanti finally make it official, which means, thank God, we are finally done with this god-awful courting, and we can move on to god-awful dating.
Oh,
it's
going to be awful, and you know what? I'm not for this at all.
At all. No, nobody wants this.
Only a man named Ashanti would make a woman that looked like that wait that long.
Yeah. Agreed.
Carmen, baby, what is you doing?
Personal best women's match of the night. Metaphor defeated the Unholy Union, are the new number one contenders for the women's tag team titles. I love Metaphor's tag team finisher. I love Alba and Isla, especially Isla, and the way she jiggles. Again, like I said, round 2. But Jakara's amazing, Lash is amazing, Alba's amazing, Isla's amazing. They went out there, they did their thing, and I love seeing Jakara and Lash elevated now, going to take on and possibly becoming your new, because I have a feeling like Jade has to return at some point, right? And like destroy all of this that's been built without her.
True.
We all
in the match.
I agree.
True.
So Metaphor.
Well, yeah.
Swallow.
Going back to your first point real quick. Yeah, Jade has to come back soon because Rumble's in like 3 weeks. Her ass has got to be in there. So unless they make it one of the surprise returns, which you could do, but then we don't get the "you're the one who attacked me" with more than likely Naomi. But I am 100% down with the Meta Girlies winning the tag titles. They deserve it, rightfully so.
What else are you doing with those tag titles? Like
Team Glowest versus the Meta Girls is going to slap nuts. Jeff Jarrett is not affiliated with this podcast in any way, shape, or form. There will be no nut slapping around here.
Okay. Noted.
This was a really good match. I'll swallow it. Good to see good women's tag team wrestling. We don't see enough of it considering there's a tag team division. I don't feel like NXT churns out enough tag teams. Like, we're starting to see it more now, but like, we can get more female tag teams in there. You don't have to debut as a single star and then find somebody to tag with. Like,
yeah. You can make something happen.
Swallow seeing a women's tag match. There's a lot of women on this roster. We could definitely do a lot more women's tag teams. That roster is stacked. Speaking of tag teams, so Briggs and whoever the fuck his tag team partner is, they call next on Fraxiom, and then OTM's like, whoa. After tonight, they're not even going to have the titles. You're talking to the wrong people. And then the other guy is like, did you say something about mud wrestling? And then OTM got really mad, and then they started brawling. But DIY was also here to voyeur from the crowd. And Fraxiom retains again. And everything Oba Femi said about Eddie Thorpe, please apply to Fraxiom, because they are cockroaches that will just not die and go away. Like, they will not. We did the will they won't they break up. They're not going to break up. Frazier tried to do a singles thing, and I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. Like, we can get the tag team titles on someone else, do something different. And they get beat up the entire match and just find a way to come back in the end and scrape away with the victory every single time. And we talked about tag teams specifically and what is Motor City Machine Gun's gimmick, and it's that they're tag team wrestlers from Detroit, right? What is Fraxiom's gimmick? They're just two guys who wrestle in a tag team and scrape by.
They are two wild and crazy guys.
They were an odd couple that found a way to come together.
So we're me and my wife, and now we've got two kids. Well, one.
That's a beautiful story. Why don't you want a beautiful story, Matt?
Matt doesn't like beautiful stories.
They didn't produce any children. All they did was produce annoying title wins over and over and over again. They should have.
Maybe should have been made during a Fraxiom match. We don't know.
I love Fraxiom. Can't stand. I don't call them OTM. I call them GTA because that's the gimmick. That's the gimmick. No, they're Grand Theft Auto. Down to the key at the bottom of the screen. I love Grand Theft Auto too. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's not a wrestling gimmick. And like, it was funny. Our group chat was pretty lit up during NXT tonight, and one of our members had basically just came out and was like, I don't like that they don't dress the same. Like, one guy looks like a wrestler, the other guy looks like a thug. Like, I don't like it. And I'm with him. I'm with him in that. No, I don't know. Like, I love Fraxiom. I think they're fun. I don't see I see a very low ceiling for them on the main roster because like they're small. They're small guys, and maybe they can go to Smackdown and fill in this confusing tag division, or maybe they can go to Raw and just get eaten alive by their giant men tag teams. But I don't know. I enjoy their matches. I think they're fun. I haven't seen a bad Fraxiom tag match. Tonight's was okay, but it wasn't bad.
I haven't seen one I cared about.
Fair.
And again, we distinguished last night the difference between caring about it and it being good are different things. It can be good and I can still not care. Sorry, Katie, go ahead.
That's okay. No, you and Vince just petty all night yesterday. Both of you. No, I have no issue with this match. Fraxiom doing Fraxiom things. Also, I still claim the name Fraxiom. I was the first person to say it. Commentary got it from me. I said it before them. I'm mad. Because everyone says it now, and I said it first.
She did. Close out the night in a very unceremonious manner. Roxanne returns and pretends to be a babyface for about 2.5 seconds as she puts over the women's division, as she puts over Giulia, just to immediately turn around and be like, this women's division ain't going to be shit without me, and you don't deserve me, and NXT doesn't deserve me, and y'all, you care about nostalgia and the Four Horsewomen. Well, fuck the Four Horsewomen, and out comes Pam with the yams, and she's got advice, and Roxanne doesn't want her advice, and then Pam's like, I'm going to be champion and go to WrestleMania, and you're just going to be stuck in your own way, and then Roxanne hits her in the face, and then they brawl for a half a second before the screen goes black, and WGN News comes out, and I'm like, fuck you, Sam.
The disrespect we were shown, like, it barely hit 10 o'clock Eastern time because, the future. And it was done. I said, you can't give me a minute over. Really? The news can wait a minute.
Listen, why didn't Raw use that transfer window to send like 15 minutes to NXT so they could have a nice little brawl at the end here? Because otherwise, this transfer window is bullshit. We could have used that. Raw had lots of extra time yesterday. So
at least 25 minutes we could have just gave to the girlies from NXT to have fun.
The transfer window is bullshit, plain and simple, period. But
yeah. It should apply to time. I think that should be
honestly, I thought this was gonna be the Roxanne being like, fuck you, I'm entering the Royal Rumble. Like, That's where I thought this was going, and we didn't get that. And maybe it happened after we went off air and WGN News came on. I don't fucking know. So we'll see. But
fuck the CW. Bastards.
Overall, NXT spit or swallow, guys.
I'll swallow it. The last segment, it was good. Bailey's getting all the TV time this week. She's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Love Pam. But no, I don't watch NXT religiously. I have the last 2 weeks. I think I enjoyed last week's more, but
well, that was a special show. That was New Year's Evil. Like it was
a TV special.
It was a special show. No, I'm going to keep watching. Like having everything on Netflix is really convenient. I'm really getting tired of not you guys get commercials. I could kill for a commercial instead of watching the same superstar like loading screen and then being taunted every time it pops up. It's like, you have 4.5 minutes. And I'm like, when did commercials become 4.5 fucking minutes? When we
I'll take my ads, seconds. Man, I'll take them.
Yeah, no doubt. Like something that like gets my like with Raw, it's different because we just have a continuous. They do interviews while the commercials are on, so we get like extra content, which is great. Mm-hmm. But we could use something, something for these international viewers. Anyway, swallow the show. I'll swallow the show.
Yeah, no, I'll swallow the show. I love me some NXT, man. It's my happy place. NXT's for the girlies, the gays, and me. And I'm both. So,
is it being on Netflix the reason why you started watching NXT?
Oh, I'm so sorry. That was my first time.
Yeah.
Now put it away.
I don't blame them. Ease of access, you know. If it's there and it's available, fuck it, I'll start watching it. If it's hard for me to find, I'm not going to go look for it. Which is why I stopped watching TNA, because they took my shit away.
No, it's because they tried to make you pay more.
Yeah, well, that too.
TNA ended up getting the deal that WWE had. The same channel broadcast WWE up here now carries TNA. I couldn't believe it. Like, it's one of the better sports channels in Canada. Like, and they're going to get nothing for the production value too. Anyway.
Big swallow for NXXXT. The Winnipegger strikes back, or the Oba Femi era begins, depending on the title that you want to choose. For our guys, Rylan, please tell everyone where they can find you.
All of our stuff, Wallet Media, on all of the social medias, all of the podcast apps that you could find us, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of them. We have a big announcement coming out on Friday on our Wall of Rewind episode, where we're going to be talking about the 2005 Royal Rumble. We have a big announcement coming, so that'll be exciting. And stay tuned. Later this month, the Wallet Media Royal Rumble pool will be dropping, so stay tuned for that, and we'll be putting the link out for the Google Doc later this month.
Katie.
You
and your
okay.
You and your indie manager bestie dropped a new episode this week. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, my co-host Savannah, she's a heel now. I said it. We said it on the show. Nobody believed her. She's a full-blown heel in the indie promotion she's working with. That's my girl. I'm very proud. Yes, dropped a new episode. You can see it on youtube.com/Elite Showcase. You can watch it live, YouTube, and twitch.tv/Elite Showcase. Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern-ish. It's like 6:30, 6:50, whatever. That's a thing. And I wrote a little something for Lyra, being the inaugural Women's IC champ. That's on Pro Wrestling Wire. It's very hard for me to say fast. So you can check that out, too.
You guys can follow me everywhere at Smackin It Raw, TikTok, Threads, Instagram, and Blue Sky. For Miss Katie Kinsey Bay and Rylan Turner of Wallet Media, this has been NXXXT, a Smackin It Raw podcast.